So good to see everyone here. I see some regular faces. I see some new faces, and just welcome everyone. We are so excited to have you all with us today for a topic near and dear to our hearts: maintain your focus. And I realized, Heidi, we should probably introduce ourselves a little bit.
Might be an idea.
I'm Danny Glazer, and I'm a Lifebook ambassador and Lifebook leader and many other things. And Heidi?
My partner in crime, that's the other thing that you are.
Yes, yes.
And I'm Heidi Tyler. I'm also a Lifebook ambassador, Lifebook leader, a certified emotional coach, and a belief clearing coach. And we are both also authors. Just got to put that out there. We are both authors. We keep
Yes,
forgetting to even mention that.
I know.
Yeah.
Because we do so much. So,
Yeah.
All right. So are we ready to maintain your focus, our focus?
Yeah. Well, we all do it so well, don't we? And with full joy in our hearts, we focus, don't we?
Yes, joy. You'll be hearing that a lot today. And yeah, we do it so well. And oh my gosh, shiny sparkly. Anybody? Anybody in here, get attracted to the shiny sparkly? So yeah,
Well, I'm
but we're
seeing
going to
a
bring it
shake of
back
the
to the
head.
events, and we'll touch on the shiny sparkly later. But bringing our focus back to this event.
Okay, if you insist. So long as I can stay joyful. Those that don't get the
Yes.
spark, let's have joyful. And we'll have
Yes.
joyful throughout.
Lots
Okay.
and lots of joy.
Now, we often struggle to maintain our focus through the plethora of things that we need or want to do. So for now, let's all think of just one thing that we want to focus on today, or this week, or in this moment. Just one thing. But that one thing needs to align with your personal priorities, your vision, or goals. What's the one thing? Just write it down.
And before you do that, unless it comes to you really quick, if sometimes if you might be like me and pretty shiny sparkly things, let's take a moment to sort of center ourselves, take a deep breath in, exhale, relax. You can put your hands on your heart and just imagine that you're sinking into your heart, and ask your heart, what is the one thing that you want to focus on? Maybe it's something that brings you joy. Just let that thing surface. And it might be detailed, it might be simple, whatever it is. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just relax. And just let yourself connect with that one thing for today. Yes, and you can share in the chat. So when you've got that one thing, you can gently open your eyes. We see someone needs to focus on scheduling a balance of self-care and writing research. I don't know anybody else here who needs to schedule in self-care at all.
Well, actually, my one thing is wellness.
Yeah, my one thing is presence, being present.
In the chat, what's your one thing? Recharging.
Yes.
Producing more, consuming less. So your one thing is producing more, or is it consuming less? Because I'm seeing two things right now. Simply my life, focus on my life. That's a lot of things.
I notice some here might be like me, and we like to fit as many things into that one thing as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Comfortable with discomfort. That's a great one, Jude.
And concentration on potent action. So what's the one thing out of those two? We're going to focus on one thing. We can hone it down, hone it down.
Don't worry, because what we're going to be teaching you today, you can use for more than one thing. But for today, we're just focusing on the one.
I love that, Stu. Damn it, I did too, didn't I? You know what? That's okay. Because now we've made you look at it and seen that there's actually two things you're trying to focus on, which is okay. So potent action, brilliant.
love
Ordering
it.
my resources. Okay, beautiful. Simplify life. Simplify becomes, yeah, beautiful.
Love it.
Absolutely. Okay. So now you've got your one thing rather than multiple things, one thing. We're going to go deeper into the opportunities that one thing is going to bring you.
So taking a moment to think about your one thing that you're focusing on, how is that important to you? And how is it interconnected across the different areas of your life? So for example, my one thing is presence and being present. And when I am present, and when that means that I am conscious, and that actually affects multiple aspects of my life.
And mine was wellness. And that impacts on every other area. Because if I'm well, how what I do shines through. My interaction with other people becomes greater because I'm in a greater place and space. And wellness for me at the moment is just a simple element of my health. But it interacts on everything I do. It's about what I read will be around how what I'm trying to do to fulfill my need. And my quality of life will improve because I feel well all the time. And if you don't know, just share in the chat whatever comes up for you. And then let's take a look at this one area of focus a step further. What about this one area of focus are you going to struggle with? What will get in your way? What difficulties do you foresee? Share those in the chat. What's your struggle going to be, Dan?
Well, for those who know me and those who don't know me, I like to get distracted. Pretty shiny, sparkly. Yeah. I like to get distracted when things are uncomfortable. So I really am connecting with the person who put, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable in the chat, because when I get uncomfortable, I'm really good at distracting. And that can be, that can be a real struggle when you really need that presence to be focused, when you really need to be in with that feeling to process it. So, and what gets in my way, a lot of times that would be me. Just saying. And, in terms of difficulties, when I get distracted, that can lead to procrastination. That can lead to, postponing and just not, being present. For example, if I'm not present with my family and I'm distracted, then that leaves them feeling bad. And then I feel bad because I'm distracted and not present with them. So, yeah.
What do I struggle with? Sometimes the complexity of wellness and some of the things that I'm trying to do in order to be well all the time, especially with overall health. So what gets in my way is when it feels it's getting too hard or too difficult, or it's not going how I would expect it to. And in that moment, that can become perhaps I should just stop doing and give up on this because it's too hard. So that's the difficulty I foresee, is when it gets too hard. Got some great shares here.
I like the thinking I need to learn more before I can help people.
Yeah. Dopamine addiction, letting my focus wander, doubts about the validity of what you're doing. Difficulty is the boundaries of focus on the schedule, because people are used to me being available for them. Absolutely.
Yep.
Beautiful.
And then, of course, the fun obstacle that can come up when we set boundaries, right, is that other people need to get used to them.
Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to show them the ball that you built. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we asked you to bring paper and colored pencils, pens, what have you, if you have them. And we're going to have some fun. If you don't, that's okay. You can use a digital whiteboard. You can make lists if you want to, but we wanted to make this a little bit of fun. So we're going to do some focus mapping here. And this is, well, we're going to give you some instructions. Now, the key with this focus mapping to remember is we're going to do it quick because we're on a time thing here. The beauty is you can come back to this and you can do it for other things.
So in the middle, you're going to draw a circle, and inside it put the one area of focus. One area of focus.
And your focus, not one focus, your focus.
Your focus. Yeah, don't write one focus. Write down your one focus. And make
so
sure
for me, it would be presence. For Heidi, it would be
wellness. Yeah, absolutely. And then you're going to draw lines out to it. So you want to really petition up your piece of paper and try and put the headings as far out to the side as you can, because underneath each of these headings, you're going to be writing some things. So give yourself some space. So you're going to write down personal priorities / goals vision. You're going to write down a heading of support and resources. You'll write down a heading of distractions. You'll write down a heading of obstacles, struggles. A heading for strategies / tools, a heading for needs.
So let's look at the personal priorities / vision / goals. And we want you here to write down how your focus area aligns with your priorities and goals. So for me, mine is presence, right? Which means when it comes to my goals, being present, especially if part of my, one of my priorities is my family. If I am fully present with my family, it's a ripple effect. They're going to feel it. I'm going to feel it. In terms of my goals, when I'm fully present with my feelings, when I'm fully present with my goals, when I'm fully present with the person that I'm connecting with. So for me, I mean, presence, it's a large part of my priorities, and it's very integral in my vision.
And for me, wellness, I'm never going to achieve any vision successfully unless I'm feeling optimally. So for me, connecting, I need to be learning. I need to be the person I want to be within my character by achieving my wellness. So it connects to that. Emotionally, my wellness, if I'm not feeling well, emotionally, I don't feel right. So there's a disconnect there. If I want to connect with people in a great way, I want to be well. I want them to equally feel well themselves because of me. I want to have a great quality of life because I'm well. I want to be able to do things because I'm well. There's so many, every single priority and goal and my overall vision aligns. Every single one of them. There's nothing that it doesn't touch.
So yeah, jot down your notes. You can come back to this. And then Heidi, you want to move us on to the next?
Yeah, so now we're going to look at support and resources. So write down what resources or support systems will enable your progress.
And this can be people.
It could be people, things.
Courses, except for those of you who think you need to learn more to help you. No, I'm just kidding.
So what resources and support do you need in order to do that, to have that?
For me, it is about accountability. And a large part of my resources are community that I can ask for help. There's also, courses.
Yeah.
There are, for me, it's meditation, because
Yes, yes,
being
yes.
present, breathing. What about you, Heidi?
My support and resources actually has come through science, which I
Mhm.
would never, but for me to be well, I'm currently actually going through a study, which is going to last about 18 weeks, I think, but it'll be longer than that. But it's actually science that's helping me to understand me. So that's been tremendous. So I'm hugely grateful for scientific advances that I can speed things up for myself and I can learn. But also, there are times where I'm going to go off track with my wellness, and my resources are my accountability friends and family around me.
Yep.
Constant support.
Yeah.
So there's learning in there, but there's also people as support.
Mhm. All right. You can continue to add to this throughout, but let's move on to distractions.
Mm-hmm.
So jot down what might hinder your ability to maintain your focus. Now, a great way to figure this out is if you look at your calendar and you notice where you're spending your time. And maybe you pay attention to how much time, do you spend a lot of time on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, social media in general? How much time do you spend scrolling on a screen? If you're like me, maybe you have a slight
Addiction, might that be?
addiction to cheesy Chinese dramas, or I think now I'm into the Korean genre of drama.
Well, at least we've changed.
Yeah, so but for me, that is a distraction that comes up, and that is something that I use when I'm feeling uncomfortable and to distract me from being present. So look at how you spend your time and what you do. Do you clean?
It's funny you should say that. I start tidying things up,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
which is helpful, but it's still distracting because I'm not doing what I want to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Or offering up a member of the family just for a chat, because that feels lovely and comfy and lovely, but it's still distracting me from what I'm trying to focus on.
Exactly.
So it sounds great, but no.
Yep.
And now we're going to move round to your obstacles and struggles. What are your main struggles around this area of focus? Your challenges or barriers that are going to impede your progress? What's going to get in the way?
Me.
Well, yeah, you do get in my way, Danny, that one. Danny's my main struggle. No, I love that. My main struggle is when it gets too hard, or I don't understand something, or something doesn't go how I expected it.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes my struggle point. That becomes a challenge, and that equally becomes a barrier. Lack of confidence.
The
Thought
thought
that the
that production
production
takes too
takes too
long.
long. Love that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So many good things.
Mm.
All right. So obstacle struggles, like I mentioned before, I'm my biggest obstacle and struggle because I can tell the best stories and make up the best excuses, which can be a hindrance. So
I like this. My rebel girl hates schedule.
yeah, my husband's right there with you, like right there with you. So all right. So you can continue to add to these as they come up. Like keep this someplace during the week and make notes on it.
Yeah.
And see what else pops up for you, because you can use this in other things. So, but let's look at the strategies or tools that you can use to enhance your focus and productivity. So what are the strategies or tools you can use to enhance your focus and productivity? For me, it's definitely when I do meditation, I go for a walk every day. Any activity that keeps me present and focused really helps me to stay in that mindset of presence.
I've done so much reading into a particular area of wellness and all of this information, and that became overwhelming. So actually, my strategy or tool that has helped me focus has actually been putting in that information into ChatGPT AI and asking it to summarize it in a simplistic way for me, the person that doesn't quite understand it all, and say, can you give me the answer to this problem? And then it does. And then I can discern and say, is that quite what I wanted? And then I can ask it more questions. And actually, that's taken me rapidly to the answer that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
That has been tremendous as a strategy and a tool. Is not just to rely on me and my mind, but actually to use technology.
Love that.
Yeah. Don't struggle. Yeah. Now we've not mentioned needs on this piece of paper, and you're going to
Not
leave
yet.
you're going to leave it blank for now, because we've got some specific questions that we're going to take you through shortly. So now you've got what supports your focus, you know explicitly what you need and what might get in the way. So you can add to this as we go through our event. So how many of you wrote down yourself as the one that's going to hinder you?
Me.
I know you did, Danny. And Steph, I can see Steph putting her hand up there. Have you considered why that might be?
So one of the reasons why we mention needs is because in meeting our needs, we can meet them in a positive way, we can meet them in a negative way, and that can, as a result, depending on how we meet these needs, it can hinder us. So,
or not even meet them at all.
Yeah, or not even meet them at all. So we're not going to go too deep into needs today. We're going to touch on them. There's many different models for what needs are. There's like Maslow's hierarchy of human needs, and you can look him up. Our favorite is the 6 fundamental human needs that's used by Tony Robbins. And this model really helps you to know and understand how your needs drive your motivation, and they can enhance your ability to maintain focus and prioritize effectively. So if you're curious about what these needs are, the first need is love and connection, significance, certainty, uncertainty/variety, growth, and contribution. And you know what? I'm going to put these in the chat so that you guys can see them.
Brilliant. We'll actually put up a slide that will show you a little bit more as well, which you can take a picture of.
The questions on this slide, the what needs motivate you, if you want to take a picture of this slide as well,
please do.
You know, just questions that you can journal about and just to think about. Food for thought.
Okay, I'll move us on. So on this slide, we've highlighted some simple questions that you can ask yourself for each of the 6 needs. So certainty, do I struggle with it? How does my need for control impact my focus? You can look at each of these and see how it impacts you.
And please take a photo or screenshot, and then you can work through these. We're not going to have enough time to work through this now. We're giving you tools that you can use later, and you can use as one of your strategies. And if you are interested in learning more and going deeper into the 6 human needs, then we can run a specific event on that. So you can.
Heidi and Danny, is it possible to have the pictures move? So, because I can't see what the words are under the right side of the screen, because our pictures are there of us. So I can't see all the words.
So how about after, Heidi, we could maybe present the slides?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Dan.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can move your own pictures of all of the people on Zoom. But equally, these slides will be in the recording, so you will be able to see all of these then. Okay. And if you would like to have an event specifically around the 6 human needs, then put a yes in the chat. And if you're not interested, put a no in the chat. It will just give us a gauge.
I foresee us doing another event.
I can
Heidi.
see us doing an event on human. That's a done deal then. Okay. Now, just to say that the questions that are on this slide at the moment, they are serious questions that you can consider while you look at your one area of focus. Which ones are controlling you and preventing balance? Because we've got certainty on the left that needs to be balanced with variety. They sound contradictory, and you need a balance of both. Significance, balanced with love and connection, again, can be conflicting, but you need a balance of both. Growth, balanced with contribution. They equally need to be balanced. All of these needs are creating a balance for you. And if one starts to grow, then the other one comes down. But we'll touch on that in more detail on a future event now. Okay.
All right. So knowing is not enough. You must take action. When you identify your core need, we're going to ask you some questions and I will put them in the chat for you. When you identify your core need, this is going to help you to figure out kind of what motivates you. And so let's start by, and you can put your answers in the chat or if you want to or not. The first question is, what do you constantly seek or crave in life? So reflect on your recurring desires, whether it's recognition, security, adventure, personal growth, or something else entirely. If you're a procrastinator, you might seek wisdom and knowledge, and
you might constantly seek love.
Yeah. So here is the question. What do you constantly seek or crave in life?
You might constantly seek comfort.
I wouldn't know anybody who constantly seeks comfort. No, would not be me at all. One of my top needs might be a little connected to certainty.
Yeah.
Saying.
Yeah. And now, what makes you feel most fulfilled or satisfied? Explore the activities or experiences that bring you deep satisfaction. For instance, feeling fulfilled when helping others might actually indicate a need for contribution. So what makes you feel most fulfilled or satisfied?
How about you, Heidi?
What makes you... I love creating. I love creating. I love creating something that's gonna enable me or other people. I just love it.
Creating. I love connecting with people, I think, and creating. I love a lot of things, so
yeah.
I'm the one person, when you ask me for the one thing, I will shove as many.
But I love doing, just doing and doing things.
Awesome.
Until I get tired.
Okay, so we have a question.
What
was that, Heidi?
I said until I get tired, and then I stop doing.
So we have a question.
How do I come up with answers?
So in terms of answers to these questions, so the first one, what do you constantly seek or crave in life? So
what do you feel drawn to?
Yeah, what are you drawn to? So for example, for me, I like certainty. I like comfort. I will seek out things, especially when I'm uncomfortable. I will seek out things that make me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Heidi, you want to tackle that one?
Sometimes it's the what you're finding you're being distracted by is actually what you're seeking or craving. There's a clue in there. So for me, where I'm seeking or craving just some comfort, whatever that might be, is because I want to feel comfortable about what I'm doing, about what I'm spending my time on. I want to feel that comfort in what I'm doing. So I'm constantly seeking, it might be that you're constantly seeking recognition or reward or appreciation for something that you do or done well.
You could be seeking approval. You could be seeking, so you could be, like, if you want approval, or if you want to be recognized, you could be seeking a connection with other people.
Yeah.
You could be seeking, if you don't like, if things are boring, quote unquote boring, you might be seeking things that will provide a thrill seeker. So like, I know someone who's will go out of their way to seek out thrills and seek out, because they like the variety, they like the uncertainty. So they will go out and they'll do like snowboarding or skateboarding or whatever it is to get that so that things aren't the same. Whereas someone who likes certainty or connects with certainty, they're probably going to really like the rhythms and routines, and they don't like when things change, or they want that sense of comfort. In terms of contribution, maybe you just crave giving to others, or giving your time, or being a volunteer. So does that help?
Adrenaline rush.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's about the focus on the one thing, focusing on the one thing. What is it that you're being drawn to? What are you seeking out of that? What do you want? Me to feel fulfilled or satisfied actually means that I've got to the result, or part the way towards the result. I don't have to have got to the end game, because that might be further down the line, but I need to have felt some way along the line that I am making progress. That makes me feel fulfilled and satisfied.
Now we're going to go to the next question. What do I fear losing the most? So what do you fear losing the most? Whether it's losing relationships, losing control, losing opportunities for growth. Sometimes these fears will point to your fundamental needs. So what do you fear losing the most?
I fear losing the plot most. When things get too difficult or a bit too complicated, I actually fear losing sanity. Yeah, I like that. Absolutely. Yeah. But actually, I fear losing control.
Yeah.
Over the outcome.
So we've got losing more time.
Yeah.
Not being able to take care of myself when I get older. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know when my husband was really sick, I feared losing him the most, which that actually tied into several of my needs, because it was the relationship connection with him. It was also the sense of certainty.
Yes. And what was going on created uncertainty.
Exactly.
So it's what you put into the other one that creates the balance.
Yep.
Yeah. And by reflecting on the questions that we've given you and exploring the answers, you can gain insights into your core need and better understand what motivates you and drives you.
Yeah, and when you think about how you meet these needs, that can really contribute to your overall well-being and focus. So how do you, you can, for example, if you want connection with someone, you can meet it in a very positive, loving way in a relationship. Or, I mean, if you think of a toddler who is having a tantrum to get one of their needs met, right?
I
It's
had one of those this week, yeah.
yeah, you did, didn't you?
I did.
It's the need for, if you have like if you want to feel important, how do you go about doing that?
And think about these in respect of your one area of focus.
Yeah. What needs is your one area of focus meeting?
Yes. And which needs are not being met?
Mm-hmm. I know we're getting a little bit deep because you haven't really, dived into the needs. Right now, we want you to think about needs on a general basis. We've given you the 6 needs format, but we're not asking you to be able to categorize those needs. Some of you are
No,
going
but
to be
in
able to do
terms of
that.
the questions we've just done and how that
Yeah.
aligns to your focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty.
Mm.
All right. So how can you create an action plan to maintain focus? Well, you know what you want to do. So now you get to plan it out and make sure you add in and do everything on this list.
These are essential, even at the simplest level, to stay focused and learn. You're going to set clear boundaries.
You're going to create visual reminders.
You're going to implement a focus routine to focus on your one area of focus.
Mm-hmm. Use positive reinforcement.
Stay flexible, because something may crop up and take you off, but that's okay. You can come back to your area of focus.
Practice mindfulness techniques. Something as simple as rubbing your 2 fingers together or taking a deep breath can bring you back.
Seek support, whether it's friends, family, or an AI app, whatever it might be. Seek support.
Heidi's best friend is ChatGPT.
It's my new BFF, absolutely.
Her new BFF. And finally, reflect and learn. Whether you journal, whether you talk it out with someone, but that's how we grow, when we look at what's working and what's not working and figuring things out.
Yeah, so take a picture, screenshot of this one too. It's just a real beneficial reminder of some of the essential actions that help you to maintain your focus. And come back to it if you wander off. Okay. Beautiful.
Efforts versus results. So you might notice we did not touch on the specific actions that you will take to achieve your area of focus, goals, vision, because you need to create those, and all of us have different focus at this point. Well, some of us might have similar ones, but for the most part, we've all got different things, and different things are needed. So one of the things that we want to touch on is a key principle to focusing your attention and maximizing your results is the 20-80 principle. So 20% effort, 80% results.
Yeah.
Oops.
That's okay. So in its simplest terms, it's using 20% effort to achieve 80% results. I'll just double pin that one. Thank you, Danny. And when you identify the key actions that will yield the most significant results in your life, you can get leverage and greater outcome. So it's least effort for the greatest result.
So how many of you are wondering, how can you identify that 20% of the action that achieves 80% of the results? Or does anybody have an idea? If you do have an idea,
share it in the chat.
For example, yeah, share it in the chat.
Yeah. How can you identify that 20%? Prioritize your list.
Mhm.
Eliminate the bottom 80%.
Ah,
That actually reminds me of back in my corporate years, the senior executive that I worked for, when I used to go in and he'd say, I'm not interested in all of that, your 16 slides. Reduce the 16 slides to 4 slides, please. And you think, oh my God, oh my God. And then you go out and you get it down to 4 slides, you take it back and he says, I'm not interested in the 4 slides, I just want 1 slide, please. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then you go in with the 1 slide and he says, I'm not interested in the 1 slide, I just want that first sentence.
mhm.
He was getting me down to the 20% from the 80%. He was focusing my attention on what was the 20% that I needed to focus on in order to give him the result that he was looking for. And that's exactly what this is about.
Mhm.
So yes, brilliant idea. Eliminate the bottom 80% because it's not going to happen. You're going to focus up. So what's the most important? What's going to make the biggest difference? Taking a good look at all you want to accomplish as being the 100%. What are your top priorities that will take the least amount of time and progress you the furthest? That's what you're looking at.
Mhm.
Yeah. Repeat the
So
cycle. Yeah.
a great example of this is my favorite example of the 20% effort, 80% results. If you set up your account to transfer money from your paycheck, whether it's each week or each month, and you have that money transferred into either an investment account or a savings, you set that up one time, right? Every week and every month, you're going to put whatever that set amount of money is in that savings account, in that investment account.
And it's going to happen automatically.
Exactly. Exactly. You know,
One
for
piece of
me,
effort.
when I go for my walk every day, half hour a day, makes me like really brings me present. It sets my tone for the day. It helps my health and fitness, you know, my health and vitality because I'm out and I'm moving. If I'm going with someone, I get to talk to that person and I get to connect with that person. So 30 minutes of my day sets the tone, sets me up with a habit that actually benefits multiple goals of mine, depending on who I'm walking with, what I'm listening to, either way. So
Yeah.
how about you, Heidi? Do you have one?
Well, for me, it's about, so going back to my wellness, and there's several areas to wellness. So that can be exercise, it can be about balanced diet, it can be sleep. But actually, so it's been about honing in on what's the 20% of action I can take that's going to give me the best result. And for me, the greatest result was finding the piece of technology that was going to actually get me there
Yep.
faster.
Yep.
It was going to get me there faster because I got my answers. So I no longer had to focus on everything. I could focus on just one piece at the top and get to the results quicker and faster and in simpler terms.
Mhm.
Just recognizing I didn't always have all the answers. But, you know, a really good example in terms of exercise, you could go out and do 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. But are you going to get the same result as if you did 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week with a different form of exercise?
Mhm.
Actually, you've achieved the same result, but you've used less time.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. So we are going to do a mini meditation. So if you just want to sit up, sit in your chair, sit up straight, balance your chest over your hips, put your hands on your heart. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, release any tension or pressure. Breathe in again. Exhale, release any tension. Just let your body melt. As you inhale, bring your chest up. Exhale, melt. And let's drop back into your heart space. So just imagine you're dropping back in your heart. You're hanging out with your one focus that you started with. Really think about that one focus. And see if you can create a sense of joy around that focus. If you imagine it done, does it bring you joy? If you imagine focusing on it or taking action on it, does it bring you joy? What in connection to your focus could bring you joy? And if you're having a little bit of challenge making that connection, just imagine the word joy and place that word in your heart and all of the feelings and sensations with joy. So now we've got your focus, and we've got joy in your heart space. That energy is mixing together. Now imagine a positive outcome as a result of your one focus. And how does that make you feel? Or what do you envision? What emotion do you connect? Maybe you're feeling a sense of accomplishment. Maybe you're feeling your focus. Maybe there's a sense of peace. Place those feelings, those positive feelings, in with the joy and the one focus, and let it mix up in your heart, all that energy. Now imagine that you have everything you need. Everything you need for your focus. How does that feel to know that you have everything you need? You may not know it at this moment, but just knowing that throughout the process, you have everything you need. Place that feeling of having everything you need in your heart. Just imagine you're meeting your own needs. See yourself, you're taking action, you're handling your challenges with ease and joy. Maybe you're even in that state of flow and you can connect with that state of flow. Place that sense, that feeling in your heart with the joy, with the positive outcome, with the focus. Just let that energy, let's just breathe in for a moment, breathing into our hearts. And as we exhale, let that energy in our heart expand out with ease, maybe a bit of joy. Inhale in again into your heart. And really let that sense of joy, those positive feelings overflow into your body. Exhale. As you inhale in again, imagine it expanding through your body. So inhaling in. Imagine your whole body filled with those positive emotions. Exhale. Just sit there and feel. Do you see anything? Envision anything? Do you hear anything? And if not, maybe you're just sitting with the feeling. Maybe you're just sitting with the quiet. Just trust the process. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, big release with a sigh. When you're ready, you can wiggle your toes. You can move your body back and forth. And you can gently open your eyes. Let's take a moment to bask in that feeling. And think about what we've just talked about, and if there's any insights or takeaways that you've gained in your time with us. You can share them into the chat.
What was interesting about that was because my wellness and all what came out of that was, laughter and smiling and play and energy and happiness. And during meditation, I was walking up a mountain with my 3-year-old granddaughter, because that's what she wants to do. She wants Nana to walk a mountain with her. Now, she's only 3, but she knows she wants to walk a mountain. And I need to be well in order to go do that. That becomes an incentive now from that adds to, and it meets my needs, meets her needs, meets my focus. Helps me to prioritize my focus.
It gives you a really strong sense of purpose and why.
Absolutely.
As well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And we haven't touched on the why specifically,
No.
but if you look through the underlying questions, the underlying things, they're all helping you to connect with why and motivations.
So do share with us what insights you've got from having gone through this event, any takeaways you've got. Share those in the chat, we'd love to see them. And also think about how you can apply what you've learnt to enhance your focus and also your well-being in your daily lives.
I think for me, touching on the meditation we just did, you can use that for so many different things.
Yeah.
Bottom line is self.
Yes, absolutely.
I need to tackle the most challenging task first.
Absolutely. And what about if you reframed that and said, this isn't a challenging task, this is easy? Turn it on its head, change the story. This is easy. Yes, it is.
And if it's hard for you to say something like this is something, ask the question, what if this was easy? What if this were fun?
How would I tell somebody else how easy this is? If they came to me with this problem, what would I tell them in order to shift the challenge? Because we're all great at telling other people what to do. So go tell somebody else how they're going to overcome that problem. Because the minute you've told somebody else in your mind, or just told somebody else how they could overcome a certain problem, your problem, you've just solved it for yourself. Affirmations.
I'm trying to figure out affirmations.
Affirmations. There's an acronym in there somewhere.
Instead of an affirmation. I love it. I love it. Affirmation.
Okay,
so
yeah.
instead of an affirmation, what if this was? Yeah.
Yes. What if?
I love that.
Yes. Or I wonder. I'm not quite sure how that would have formed a word. I wonder. Formations.
How many words can we create today?
Iwamations. Iwamations.
Well, that's like Tony Robbins. Instead of incantations, he calls them icantations.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Steph said, my focus is to re-energize today. My body needs my attention today, not my mind. It's a healing day. Earlier, I thought it was a reflection day. Very different for me and my focus. Fantastic.
Love that.
What a lovely shift. I've started with specific expectation when talking about focus. I've learned. Sorry, I just missed that one. Oops.
Learn to consider a lot more perspectives. Very useful. Yeah, that's the key, guys.
Yes.
Try to see things. If something ever comes up as an obstacle or a challenge, how can you see it from a different perspective?
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Absolutely. And use these questions again and again to question yourself.
Yeah.
And use the bubble, my focus. What am I focusing on? And all of those. I've got great value structures. All the questions you asked has helped me so much to think it through. You set me up powerfully. You helped me change my context. I could actually enjoy the whole process with my focus. Absolutely.
Yes.
Enjoyment. Joy. Fun and joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the key is when we align our focus with our personal priorities and our outcomes and goals, when we understand what motivates us, we make it easier to maintain our focus. That's not to say you still won't be tempted by the, oh, pretty shiny, sparkly things.
Yes.
The key is being able to bring your focus back from the pretty shiny, sparkly things.
Yeah.
Our underlying theme today, if you hadn't guessed, is joy. We tried to pepper this with joy and bring in the joy, because when you have joy, it can be fun. It can be playful. When you come from a space of joy and fun and playfulness, guess what? It actually makes it easier to focus because you want to focus on it. So gamify it, be creative.
And play, and play some more. So now I've got to add my exercise of mountain climbing. I need to start practicing. I can add that in.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Play, fun, joy, yes.
Joy is the thing I would fear losing the most. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it really valuable and important.
Love that.
So
Look at
thank
you guys
you.
coming up with your own strategies. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Charmaine. Yes, we are a dynamic duo. And we have a lot of fun and we play a lot.
Yes.
Even in the hard, tough times, we play a lot.
Yeah, that's the key.
And that's how we get through them. So thank you for participating and sharing in the event. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. And we encourage you to continue your journey of self-discovery and growth.
So we're going to leave you with this closing thought for today. I value myself by focusing my needs.
Mm-hmm. What do you need?
Mm-hmm.
And we're now going to do a needs event. So watch this space. That will be coming up because it's huge. It is so valuable because actually your needs is all about you.
Yeah.
And that's the only person that matters.
Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm feeling so joyful reading everyone's comments.
Yeah, that fills us up. Significance and certainty and meets needs. Yeah.
Yes.
So you can connect with us through several different ways. We have all of these event recordings are on our Inner Freedom Outer Vision YouTube channel. You can go to the channel and using that link and you can subscribe. And if you know of any friends or family you think any of our events, including this one, would be valuable to, please ask them to subscribe too. Because then we can just keep growing our channel and getting it out to more and more people to help them. We've also we're available on Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram, and our links to those are there. And Danny's put all of those in the chat. So you can copy all of those links. We've also got a WhatsApp group for weekly motivations, updates for our future events and accountability. And you can take a copy of that link and Danny will drop that in. I think she's already done that onto that list. So you've got that link too. So we are accessible in many different ways. And in case that wasn't enough, we are also available through my website, which is It's Your Time To, and Danny through Inner Lighthouse Musings. So we both equally have our own websites, which is separate to Inner Freedom Outer Vision, but in many ways they all complement each other because of what we do and the services we provide. Mm-hmm. So you can contact us through any direction. Yep. Whatever you need.
Yeah. We are here to serve and support.
Yeah.